Coming up on News Live at 6, the Syracuse housing crisis and what the city is doing to stop it. Find out more later in the show.
Plus, a SU a cappella group competing at a national competition this weekend, how they're preparing for the big day. All that and more, News Live at 6 starts right now.
This is CitrusTV News Live at 6, your campus news leader.
Hey, housing registration is slowly approaching. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Chilekasi, Adele.
And I'm Max Williams in for Nicole Aponte. That's right, and anxiety is increasing as finding housing for those not living on campus is becoming more difficult.
Now, according to one report, our region, that's Central New York, it's experiencing a housing crisis. Apartment Advisor ranked the Syracuse metro area as the most competitive housing market. Yes, it has it beating the New York City metro. Citrus TV's Caitlin Campbell breaks down what's happening with this crisis and the city's efforts to fix it.
In Syracuse, a housing crisis is taking over with a 6.5% vacancy rate. The city is making it their mission to ensure a solid roof over everyone's head.
Our crisis is a culmination of many things, and we have to figure this out as a community because housing is a human right, and we got to make sure that right is protected as local government. We have to go at scale. We can't, create 4 units and be like, hooray, we did it. We're like, yeah, those 4 people are off the street. I want to applaud that. We drastically improved the lives of 4 people, but we're in a housing crisis. We need, I knew that.
And while finding a place for everyone to call home is the main goal of these housing strategies, there are also hopes to address affordability and quality.
Our ultimate goal is to make sure that every neighborhood is a strong neighborhood and every resident has choice in where they live. Building upon the study that we did and doing a second part to it right now, which is the strategy work. And so CZB is the consulting company. We've been working with them throughout the winter, leading towards a spring release to a report on what strategies we're going to put in place.
For residents who are having trouble finding or maintaining a home, they can turn to organizations like Home Headquarters for guidance and aid through the home buying process.
Here at Home Headquarters, first we offer home buyer education classes, and that's for any individual who is looking to purchase a home. So that way they can learn the ins and outs of the home buying process, what to expect as a homeowner. So offer a down payment and closing cost assistance.
With the Syracuse population growing, housing will be a continuous issue for the city. Caitlin Campbell, Citrus TV News.
Caitlin, thank you. New at 6 tonight, the Ukrainian Student Association hosted a candlelight vigil for Ukraine at Hendricks Chapel. The candlelighting took place at the steps of the chapel earlier this evening, just a little while ago. Those who attended honored victims of the war in Ukraine as we near the 2nd anniversary of Russia's invasion of the nation. That anniversary is Saturday.
Chancellor Ken Severide addressed concerns of new ticket pricing for JMA wireless dome seating in a letter yesterday. Severide answered Senator Van Gulik's question directly about the new prices. The senator pointed out the separation in a charge for a donation and a charge for the ticket in the combined amount. Severide clarified that this has been the case for many years and the intention is, quote, not to change what's been the system since the 1980s.
The SU Volunteer Organization is partnering with the nonprofit Sleep in Heavenly Peace to host a bed building event for children in need tomorrow from 1 to 4. The event takes place at Sky Barn, and experts will be from the nonprofit will be there to assist in the assembly of the beds, which will then be delivered to children in the Syracuse area who do not have a bed to sleep on. Hey, let's take a look at our first check of the weather. It is gloomy, Max.
It is, yes. I went out early this morning. It was dry, and then I was walking back to my car, and it started raining, and I didn't have my rain jacket, so
yeah,
got a little wet this morning.
I mean, we've been spoiled this week, so we've definitely been lucky for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, Luke Welch, is this going to continue?
Well, Chile and Max, unfortunately, you won't need that rain jacket a little much longer. Those rains are expected to only stay around until 8 p.m. But if we take a look at our weather right now, we're sitting around 40 degrees. Yes, it's raining outside, but it's not here for long. As we see, we're sitting at the wind gusts around 10 miles per hour. But let's take a look at the temperatures around our region. We're seeing some mid to low 40s and high 30s around the area. Our high being at 43 in Rochester. We're sitting in 40 here and Syracuse, but some high 30s down in Elmira, Ithaca, Cortland, Binghamton. But let's take a look into tonight. As I said, that rain will stop, that wind will die down, only around 7 to 8 miles per hour at night. So if you're going out, you're going to need a jacket because it's going to be only around 37 degrees, and we're only dropping a degree, 2 here or there. I'll have your full 5-day forecast later in the show. But for Chile, Max, I'll send it back over to you guys.
Luke, thank you. Well, hey, there's an SU a cappella group heading to a competition this weekend. It's called the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella, or ICCA. Citrus TV's Cami Bremer joins us now in studio. Cami, were you able to see how they prepare in person?
Thanks, Max. That's right. This weekend, SU's own co-ed a cappella group, Groove Stand, will compete in Troy at the RPI University. I got the chance to sit in on one of their rehearsals this past week. Let's take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Groove Stand, a co-ed a cappella group here at Syracuse University, will be competing this weekend among 6 other colleges, including SUNY Potsdam and Cornell, for the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella. The group plans to perform 3 songs that were chosen by their e-board and have been practicing since the start of the 2nd semester.
Well, I care. I know you don't care very much, but I still care.
I spoke with Groove Stand members as well as co-presidents Amani and Elena, who broke down the rehearsal process.
We rehearse Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and as we get closer to the competition, we try to add some more rehearsals in just to make sure we're all ready to go. We spend rehearsals working on both music and choreography and just like stage presence.
I think the most rewarding part about this is just seeing how good our group can get. We have a semester showcase every semester called Invitational, and I feel like every semester we're constantly improving. The quality of our group has just skyrocketed, so it's really nice to see that and also just bond with each other. It's very fulfilling just to hear the product of that.
It's been stressful, but it's been fun to spend all the time. It's not only time with them anyway, but it's nice to have like more time with them and like get to put out something so amazing. I'm really excited.
I was blown away at the talent and hard work these students have dedicated to this performance. Auto-Tune, the SU's all-male a cappella group, will also be competing as well, and we wish both groups the best of luck. Max and Chile, back to you.
Cami, thank you so much. Well, a fire broke out on the 20th floor of the Crown Plaza Hotel in Syracuse last night. According to the Syracuse Fire Department, the fire started around 9 p.m., but was put out within the hour. The area was also ventilated, and all smoke was removed from the upper floors. Hotel guests on the 18th and 19th floors were removed, and guests on lower floors were put in a shelter in place. Thankfully, there are no reported injuries or victims trapped at the scene.
The landmark Spectrum Theater in Albany is set to close today. The Spectrum opened in 1983 as an art house theater and only had 1 screen. Since 2015, the Spectrum has been run by Landmark Theaters, a corporate chain. Community members have expressed support for the theater, and there is hope it will not be closed for long. The theater's founders are in negotiations with operators with hopes of keeping the theater open.
Coming up on News Live at 6, the Speaker of the House says that Syracuse could decide who controls Congress in November. Why he came to help our congressman right after the break.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive?
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
You're watching Citrus TV News live at 6 with Chilekasi Adele, Nicole Aponte, and Luke Welch. Now, your campus news leader continues.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. House Speaker Mike Johnson is traveling through upstate New York today and made a stop this morning here in Syracuse.
That's right. He also held a high-dollar fundraiser for Congressman Brandon Williams near Utica. Joining us now is someone who knows a thing or two about Utica, our political reporter Luke Radel. Luke, a little close to home today, huh?
Yes, indeed, and he wasn't just in my hometown for the amazing food. Congressman Brandon Williams hosted House Speaker Mike Johnson for a high-dollar fundraiser right here at the Yanandasas Club in New Hartford. And look, I've been to the Yanandasas Club many times, but it seems like it's a little bit odd that someone has to pay for a $1,000 breakfast just to talk to their member of Congress. Now, as Williams traveled from one end of his district to the other, he also announced his opposition to new district lines proposed by a bipartisan commission that carves out friendly regions of Oneida County from his current domain and includes bluer cities like Auburn and Cortland. Williams complained online about the maps and made baseless claims that his opponent had some hand in the writing. He said, quote, "The media should really be asking the question, is self-dealing John Mannion a crook?" Even though this is not how it's supposed to work, we're the ones who typically ask the questions, I'll take the bait here, because this is a particularly strange question for the congressman to ask. He knows that the map was drafted by an independent commission of 5 Democrats and 5 Republicans, and the lines were approved on a margin with all 5 Republicans voting in favor. Fellow New York Republicans like Lee Zeldin and Mike Lawler have all come out in favor of the current maps, and on top of that, John Mannion and the state legislature had absolutely nothing to do with how the maps were drawn. But let's take a closer look at why the congressman is so upset with how his district shook out. Because it is true that he was saddled with a seat that voted for President Biden by an 11-point margin. Compare that to Mark Molinaro in the southern tier, who actually went from a district that was Biden plus 5 to just Biden plus 1. How did that happen, you may ask? Well, I'm told that members of the New York delegation actually regard our congressman as the odd man out, and that's often left him isolated from his colleagues. While Williams has been dodging press questions and town hall meetings with constituents for months, members like Molinaro host events like Coffee with Your Congressman. He holds town halls and tosses pizza dough. He actually seems like he enjoys his job, and he's not alone. Mike Lawler of the 17th District appears frequently on CNN to discuss the issues, but when Brandon Williams goes on, he pushes bogus talking points about the border and complains when the anchor interrupts him. Take a look.
Permitting in the law, in the code, 5,000 per day on average over a period of time to enter the country.
That's not true. That's not true. It's not
it
allowing
is
5,000.
True. It's a disaster.
It was not allowing them in. It was saying at 5,000 encounters, you don't entertain any more encounters at the border.
I'm sorry. Is that respecting each other? Is that what you're getting at here?
Well, I will challenge you when you say something that's not true.
I'm a member of Congress. You're cutting me off. It absolutely
only when you
is
say something
true.
not true.
And I see.
So look, if Williams is mad now, he may be even madder next week when Democrats in Albany may decide to draw all these lines all over again and make this race even tougher for the congressman here in Syracuse. We'll be watching all of it very closely. Reporting in studio tonight, Luke Radel, Citrus TV News.
Luke, thanks for your report tonight. Well, this is probably something some of you have been dealing with today. Early this morning, AT&T, along with a few other providers, had a nationwide cell phone outage, causing problems for thousands of people. The service disruptions peaked at 4:30 this morning, but many were having the same problems throughout the day.
Yeah, our John Perrick was one of them.
Yes.
Later this morning, AT&T stated that it has restored wireless service to all of its affected customers. It went on to say, "We sincerely apologize to them. Keeping our customers connected remains our top priority, and we are taking steps to ensure our customers do not experience this again in the future. Over to Luke Welch with what's coming up in the weather. Luke.
Well, when we come back, you'll have your sunny 5-day forecast, a nice break from the snow and rain. You're watching Citrus TV News, your campus news leader. Stick with us.
Welcome to my house. Everybody's pretty tired of each other. The walls were closing in. Clearly, a case of too much family, too close, 24/7. If this sounds like your house, try going someplace new. YourLifeYourVoice.org. You'll find lots of ideas to help you handle the family stresses of being confined to close quarters. YourLifeYourVoice.org. It could help you find a little more breathing room.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the Why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where do cats go on vacation? New York.
From the Citrus TV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
6:16, taking another check of our weather tonight. Luke Welch joins us here at the desk. Again, we talked about early this rain that's continued on and on and on. It's again, we've been spoiled, right, haven't we?
Yeah, I know. These February temperatures have been up and down. I feel like one day I walk out and it's sunny and warm, and the next I walk out and it's either raining or snowing, and I don't really know where to catch myself. Like, what do you guys been thinking about this?
I'm not a fan of the rain or the snow either. So I prefer the sun, but unfortunately we get a lot of cloudy weather.
I feel like I keep having to check my weather app on my phone to see, do I need a coat? Do I need a rain jacket? Can I go out in shorts? Like, it's crazy. But you know what? This rain has been making me a little mopey, so I was like, you know what? Let's take a look home. Let's see what the temperatures are of the home cities around the station. But let's take a look up there. This is a pretty northeast heavy show, if you couldn't tell. We see 39 degrees here in Syracuse, 36 out in Luke Radle's hometown of Utica, 36 in New England. I know, Max, that's where you're from, and our sports anchor, Skyler, Wilkes. 44 in New Jersey, New York City area, where our news director, Brandon Myers, from, and our reporter, Cami Bremmer's from. And then, of course, the best for last, down in southeastern Pennsylvania, 42 in Philly. In Chile, you know a little bit about that. Our Dylan Brendel.
Looks more like Poughkeepsie to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, I couldn't get the locations exactly right. And, of course, 43 degrees in my hometown of Lancaster. But these temperatures and these clouds and this rain is pretty consistent around the northeast. But let's take a look into this 5-day forecast. We're seeing 50 degrees tomorrow and a low of 14. It's a pretty differing thing, but we see the sun is here to stay. The sun is coming back. We see some snow showers possible on Saturday with a high of 22 and a low of 15. And then we get into the light at the end of the tunnel where we see Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, sunny and mild. We see highs of 44, 46, and then even 61, which is crazy. I can't not wait for that until we can get to that shorts weather. It seems like Punxsutawney Phil was right that spring is coming early. That's all I have for now. I'll have more on your wake-up weather later in the show. Max, Chile.
Yeah, thanks, Luke. Hey, EA Sports bringing back its NCAA football game this summer. Syracuse football announcing today it's in the game. Here to tell us what players can expect is Citrus TV's Dylan Brendel. Hey, DB.
Yeah, Chile, the game is back after not releasing a new version since summer 2013. You can see online how excited fans are to get back on the sticks and lead their favorite schools to gridiron championships. You'll be able to play with all 134 FBS schools. Players can also opt in for more NIL opportunities until the end of April. By then, we should hear which SU players will be involved. That was missing from the game over 10 years ago. You couldn't play as your favorite athletes, but now it's different. The Athletic reports players who are selected for the game will receive $600 and a free copy. Star players chosen as ambassadors will also get more NIL compensation. That'll likely include cover athletes. Stars like Shadur Sanders and Travis Hunter are returning athletes that could grace the cover. In the past, EA chose players that were moving out of college. This could be Marvin Harrison or maybe Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams. If you want an outside shout, how about Nick Saban, the legendary coach who just retired? For now, we're not sure. EA Sports is expecting to have more than 11,000 athletes in the game. It's the biggest NIL deal of its kind ever.
Hey, you mentioned that $600 and a free copy of the game. You think there's going to be some players who maybe complain that's not enough?
Look, I think for a lot of players, that is more than they're expecting. They're expecting 11,000 players. For most guys, $600 is a lot of money. You can buy a lot of stuff with that as a college student. So, of course, some guys are worth a lot more. We see those penthouses that players like Caleb Williams live in. But, for a lot of guys, I think this is a really great opportunity.
And you go on the internet, too, and you see people have been clamoring for this game to come out again for years.
Yes. It's been since NCAA 14 back in 2013 when it came out, and people are still playing this game now. If you believe it or not, they are still doing dynasty runs on that game, still building up programs, still enjoying that game, and I know that when this one comes out, so many more people are going to continue to do that.
That's crazy. I mean, I play Madden a lot, so I'm definitely excited.
I haven't played video games in a long time.
I haven't either, but...
Hey, from fake sports to real sports. Hey, what's going on, Skyler, Wilkes?
In Chile, there's a whole lot of action on campus this week. We got Syracuse women's basketball and Syracuse men's lacrosse in action. So it should be a really exciting week on the Hill, and I've got you covered, so you won't want to miss it.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
There's no definitive answer to who's the best team on campus, but 17th ranked SU women's basketball is surely in the conversation. Welcome into sports, I'm Skyler Wilkes. The Cuse host Duke tonight in the midst of a 5-game win streak and its highest ranking in almost half a decade. If you remember, the Orange lost on the first day of February. Since then, though, they've been playing with a vengeance. Syracuse exacted revenge on a top 15 Louisville squad and then won 2 straight games on the road. All that is great, but it's not even the biggest story. Deja Fair sits 26 points away from moving into a tie for 5th place all-time on the D1 women's scoring list. However, Duke poses a real challenge to that threat. Even though the Blue Devils aren't at the top of the ACC standings, they are when it comes to scoring defense. They're one of 2 teams in the entire conference that allows less than 60 points per game. On the bright side for the Cuse, it's an orange out in the Dome. FLJ's crew is an impressive 13-1 at home this season. And before the hardwood was put on, number 6 Syracuse men's lacrosse battled Utah for the first time ever. The Orange looked to respond after a heartbreaking overtime loss, while the Utes had dropped their first 2 games of the year. So let's take a look at how it all went down. Syracuse and Utah. The Utes, one of the third team ever to face Syracuse from west of the Mississippi River. And the Utes got it going early, up 1-0 early on, but then that made it 2-2, tied Cody Hart with the goal. Syracuse got off to a bit of a sluggish start until, how about a long pole goal from Sam Alexo, already his third goal in 5 games. Pretty impressive for the LSM. That was part of a 3-0 scoring run. It's already 8-3 Syracuse, and how about Joey Spallina? Defense in it to offense, dunks it in. 9-3 Syracuse in the second quarter. Spallina, he wasn't done just yet. Sidearm shot and a sidearm goal. Give him 100 career points, and he did it in just 20 games. That's the 3rd fastest mark in program history. Icing on the cake now for Syracuse. Christian Mule getting fancy with it behind the back for his 2nd goal of the game, and that secured an 18-7 victory for Syracuse, who improved to 7-0 versus teams from west of the Mississippi River. And the Cuse had 10 different goal scorers and 6 players who found the back of the net more than once. It was also a dominant day at the Face-Off X for SU. Not only that, but the Orange outperformed the Utes 21-8 at the dot and are now 3rd in the nation in face-off win percentage. Syracuse improves to 4-1 and is off until Wednesday when it welcomes number 7 Army to town. And back on the court, SU men's basketball clashes with Notre Dame tomorrow. Adrian Autry's group is coming off a roller coaster victory over NC State on Tuesday. More importantly, though, it's the first time that J.J. Starling faces his former team. The Baldwinsville native played with the Fighting Irish last season and earned all ACC freshman honors. This year with the Orange, the guard is averaging almost 14 points per game. Over the past 5 outings, though, the sophomore has tallied nearly 18 points per contest. ND has struggled without Starling and is currently 3rd to last in the conference, Chile, but still should be a good one.
Definitely. Skyler, thanks so much. Hey, when we come back, one last check of the weather with Luke Welch. Stay with us.
I hear the alarm bell go off in school. I think it's an air raid. A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close. I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us. But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words. These are not my words. These are not my words.
Here's your check. Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. Well, when you wake up tomorrow morning, we're going to be sitting around 37 degrees. And those clouds are going to be consistent throughout the day. The temperature is going to rise a little bit to around 45, 46, staying those consistent mid to high 40 throughout the day. But when you walk out in the morning, the ground might be a little wet. We're going to see some rain around 6 a.m. But again, those clouds and those temperatures are going to stay consistent. I don't know, maybe this dreary weather kind of makes me want to have some ice cream. Chile, Max?
Maybe. I hate that gloomy weather, but hey, a new Ben & Jerry's flavor is hitting the shelves. The flavor, it's called Marshmallow Sky, and it consists of, and I'm quoting here, marshmallow ice cream with marshmallow swirls and gobs of chocolate chip cookie dough and chocolate chip cookie dough. My goodness.
Yeah, that's a sentence there.
Sounds like diabetes.
Well, the flavor will be available as a pint for a limited time, but will be available in Ben & Jerry's scoop shops once the pint leaves the freezer aisle. Well, I am a huge ice cream fan, so I'm definitely very excited about this.
Hey, you want to hear a fun fact? I've never had Ben & Jerry's before.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I have ice cream almost every night. So.
I'm a big, from suburban Philadelphia, big Turkey Hill guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my cup of tea. Yeah, Luke Welch is approving in the background. That's CitrusTV News Live at 6 for this Thursday.
Don't forget, you can follow us on X and Instagram at CitrusTV News. Now for the entire Citrus News team, I'm Max Williams.
And I'm Chilekasi Adele. Thanks for the company. Please hug those you love tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow.